Hi, Clarinda. How are you?
Hi, Gisette. I'm well. How are you?
Good. It's great speaking with you, and I'm so honored that you're willing to have this conversation for the Speak English 5 Sports column.
No, thank you for thinking of me. I'm excited and honored to be a part of it. I think it's
Great.
awesome what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. So let us know, introduce yourself. Let everyone know some information about you, your sports affiliations. Give us some background.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Clarinda McGrady. My husband is Tracy McGrady. He is a veteran. Well, actually, he's a retired veteran now, I guess. He's played, 15, 16 years in the NBA. And after that, he went and did a year across seas in China. So that was a whole another experience. And so that's that part of me is in regards to my husband and our sports affiliation.
Okay. Now, what was it like for you overseas? We spent some time overseas as well. We were in Europe for off and on for about 9 years, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
So did you like it better here, or did you enjoy your time overseas? Because I loved it in Europe.
Yeah, well, you know what? China was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great experience. My husband's popularity in China is, for whatever reason, just crazy. So, at the peak of his career in the NBA, it is what it is in regards to his fan base. But, coming towards the end of his career and then going over to China, you just sort of relive this madness. Right. And, it's a very, for me, humbling experience to see how the Chinese community, how they embrace him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just always very humbling and very just a good experience in regards to how they internalize basketball. Basketball is huge over there. I had no idea it was that huge.
Mm-hmm.
And so those guys get started very young, and they love the game of basketball. They love NBA, and it was a great experience. Mm-hmm. Lots of different cultural experiences that I'm still scratching my head about, but
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. When we were in Europe, we had similar experiences. They do embrace basketball at a very early age there as well. The fan base is crazy over there. I understand what you're saying. We had fans that would knock on our door when we were in Italy, bringing ice cream to my kids in ice cream cones with the ice cream running down their arms and everything. So, needless to say, I didn't let them eat it, but just the gesture itself was kind, So
I mean, very, very just sweet and warm people. I get off the plane, and in the airport, you've got people holding up posters of,
yes.
Pictures. Mm-hmm. I'm like, where'd you get that picture?
Yeah.
We just came back from China, and, getting, going to the airport, there's like this huge group of Chinese fans, and they have like these poster-sized posters of like our Christmas cards. And I'm like, where did you get that from? Where'd you get that? Or a picture of me kissing my son at his birthday party, but you forget anything you post online.
That's right.
It was viral.
People can get it.
And
yes.
so it was just very interesting. I'm like, wow, okay.
Now
but it was a very, very sweet experience.
Now, speaking of your children, how were they able to adjust when you have them overseas? Are they able to adjust easily? Are they, accustomed to it from, just going back and forth? Or what would you say about their experience?
They're definitely accustomed to traveling. We were in China this summer for a month, a little over a month, and we took the kids with us, and that was an experience.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to traveling. They're used to the routine. This was the first time they've experienced something to that degree, because in 1 month's time, we probably traveled to 13 different cities.
Wow.
And so every 2 to 3 days, we were on a new plane going to a different city.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really good experience for them just to get out of their comfort zone and you know, there was no slacking on this trip because you will get left.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I said, it was very fast paced. We were either on a plane, a train, a bus, going to another city, so it was pretty cool.
Now, yeah, my kids enjoyed it some of the time, but they got tired of the travel, going back and forth. As I said, we were all over Europe. We were in Italy, France, Spain, and even we were even in Turkey. So,
Oh, wow.
We traveled a lot of different teams during his career. So I understand, and then getting used to the different foods was a
Yeah,
challenge
yeah.
for me. I was able to find food to cook for them at home, but me, I don't, because I don't eat red meat. I don't eat a lot of different things, so it was
Mm-hmm.
challenging for me at times. But yeah,
Oh, girl,
they enjoyed
we
it, but they got sick of it after a while.
Yeah, and I came prepared. I took one full bag. I had tuna, I had
See, I did
protein bars,
too.
protein shakes,
Yes.
sardines, rolls, ice cake. I was
Yes.
prepared,
I did the same
But it
thing.
really, traveling, they were cool with. What they, believe it or not, were getting a little, a little overwhelmed with was, they had multiple people, fans wanting their autographs. It was
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so, at first it was cool, but after a while they'd be like, I don't want to sign autographs. And
That's
I'd be
enough.
like, excuse me, get your butt over there. That's the least you can do.
Right.
Don't get all caught up in like, I'm not going to sign an autograph. I'm like, yeah, you will. You're going to take it. You're going to sign an autograph, and you're going to smile, take this picture. So for me, it was just a challenge of keeping them humble and keeping them sort of grounded and not get to that point where they're like, I'm not going to take his autograph. I'm not going to
Yes.
take a picture. And I'm like, no, you will, because, this is a part of this
Of
is
the
a
life.
privilege.
Yeah, this is the life.
Most of your friends your age will never experience this. It is a blessing, and it really is part of your ministry. This is the least you can do over here is smile and be graceful and be kind. And, and that's that. And so every time they would tell me what they're not going to do, I'm like, you know what? Get on over there and smile for that camera.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot on them though at times. I mean,
Yeah.
my youngest son didn't get to go to school over there, but my oldest son and my daughter, we had them enrolled in school, and I used to tour the city with my youngest son, this is so he could see the architecture and the art and things like that with my
Oh,
youngest
yeah.
son. My oldest son got so sick and tired of people in his face that he
Yeah.
smacked the lady one time he was in his baby stroller. He smacked her. He was like young. So
Goodness.
yeah, so it's
Oh.
hard on him sometimes. So I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time you're absolutely right. There are so many children that will never have those
Oh, yeah.
experiences. So you got to keep them humble and keep them,
Oh, yeah. I gotta do
understanding.
that.
So I know that for me, traveling sometimes is a little nerve wracking. I have to stay in prayer to keep myself, focused and keep my nerves under control. So I know that you are a God fearing woman, and you come from a family with a foundation in the Lord. So can you tell me, do you have a sacred place at your home or anywhere that you commune and sit and talk to God and listen to what He has to say?
Mm, I do, and this is probably a little different from most people who may go to their office or their prayer closet or wherever. For me, it's the shower. It is truly the shower. I didn't choose the shower, but God chose that for me. He met me there. And I say that because, Gisette, I tell you, He has spoken to me so loudly and so clearly in the shower. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just at my most vulnerable. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but that is my place. And I know that I will find God there, and He will speak to me there. And so many of the things I'm doing now, so many of my projects, so many of my ministry work, it was birthed, it was conceived in the shower.
That's
I don't
amazing.
mean with my husband per se, but it was literally there in the shower where, He speaks loudly and clear to me. So, I know that if I'm seeking something, I just sit in the shower and wait till I hear Him.
Yeah, and I understand. You've shared that with me before, so I told you before that I can totally relate to that, and I think it's because I'm assuming that it's because you're in private, like you said, you're vulnerable, and there shouldn't be too many intrusions normally when you're in the shower. But that's probably what it is. But anywhere we'll take God wherever He shows up, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? It's to the point now where I didn't realize that several years ago. I just started noticing, like, wow, every time I get in the shower, I just have a download from the Holy Spirit.
Mm.
Ideas, creativity, just things that I know that did not come from me.
Mhm.
And so I just started recognizing, hey, there's something special about the shower.
Mhm.
And it's even to the place now where I have a little table right outside of my shower, and I have a notepad and a
Mhm.
pencil because I know that
You're going to
he
be
starts to speak
inspired.
to me, and if I
Mhm.
don't jump out right then and write things down, it's going to be gone. It's
Mhm.
going to be gone. So I had to learn it the hard way because there would be things he would speak to me in the shower and ideas and things that, I know that I'm to go out and do. And when I get out of the shower and dry off, I'll go back and be like, okay, now what was that idea? And I'm like, it's gone. I have
Mhm.
no idea what it was. So
Mhm.
now I jump out of the shower, dripping wet, and I write stuff down.
Well, that's
I just
awesome.
created a whole program in the shower, a part of one of the things that I'm doing with my life coaching and speaking company. I had a whole program that was downloaded to me in the shower.
Wow.
And so I just know that that's my place.
And you know that some of the most successful people in the world and the greatest minds have the notepads. A lot of them by their beds, but wherever
Yeah,
the inspiration comes from, they keep their notepads handy so they can jot down the
absolutely.
inspiration that comes to them. I feel like it's great that you acknowledge that it's coming from God because
Oh gosh,
where
yeah.
else could it be coming from?
Look, I'm a pretty sharp girl. I've got a master's, but I know that the stuff that I get downloaded with, it is not of me.
Mm,
And
mm.
I would be lying to me and to you and to everyone else if I said that it was from me. So I know it's nothing. It's all God.
God is good. God is good. So tell us about some of the projects that you're working on. Speaking of your inspired, projects, let us know what they are.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I am continually working. I have created something called Project Push. Okay.
Mhm.
And Project Push is sort of like the over umbrella company, and up under Project Push there's different programs. First of all, Project Push is an acronym. Anyone that knows me knows that I love acronyms. I make acronyms out of everything. And Push stands for purpose-led, unstoppable, success-bound, and hope-filled.
Amazing.
Qualities, thank you, qualities that I think that all of us, that resonates with all of us. And so under this Project Push, one of my main programs is Women Who Push.
Mhm.
And again, that's purpose-led, unstoppable, success-bound, and hope-filled. And that's what we are and who we are as women.
Mhm.
Whether we see it or not, whether we feel it or not, whether we claim it or not, that's who we are. We just have to connect with that and align with that.
Yes, by nature.
So
That's by nature, and by God's design. You're absolutely right. That is who we are as women.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And so we get sidetracked because, we don't feel it, or we don't see it, or somebody didn't validate us, or what he said, or what he didn't say. And so we sort of succumb to this um, self-defeatist mindset. But no, at the end of the day, regardless of those emotions, regardless like I said, whatever somebody did say or didn't say, we are amazing.
Mhm.
We are perfectly and wonderfully made as we are, and we have
Yes.
everything that we need. And
Absolutely.
so, as far as getting back to Women Who Push, Women Who Push, this whole company is basically was birthed from my own testimony and my own experience. And within this, I help women who live in the shadows of their high-profile spouse
Mhm.
to shine and to take ownership of their own identity and voice independently of their husband so that they can claim their own purpose, power, and platform.
Mhm.
And so it's pretty much a coaching program that I have, and obviously there's different packages within that. But I just felt it was important for us women to do exactly that, to push and to create our own voice and to create our own identity. And so many times living in this lifestyle, whether, I work with women who are, wives, not even all wives, but wives or significant others, or even, ex-spouses who, were the wife of a athlete or a high-profile exec or
Mhm.
entertainer or pastor or whatever it is,
Mhm.
to where oftentimes, regardless of all of our brilliance that we have and our greatness and our genius and our creativity, sometimes that lifestyle, it dims our light and
Absolutely.
we scale back and we minimize our own greatness.
And
And
that and there
so
and there
we have,
and that's where we have the commonality. Why you're a perfect fit for this sports column that we have, because our tag is recognize the universal language between women inside professional sports. And that is exactly what our focus is. We focus on women in professional sports in general, and just encouraging them to share their stories, just like your story, just like my story, with the world, because we do have a lot to offer. You know, we are special in our own right, not to negate, you know, what our spouses and partners have done in their careers, but I feel like God connected us to them for a reason, because we share something special, you know, not necessarily any more special than anyone else. However, there's a reason. So there's something, you know, huge inside of the women, just like there's something huge inside of the men that needs to be, that, you know, shared and needs to come to light. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
And you know what? And what I've created, it's not like this, this feminist movement where I'm this independent woman and, you know, forget you, Mr. Husband. It's not that, because what I'm encouraging or what I'm teaching or what I'm sharing, it complements our husband.
Absolutely.
We grow together as a team.
Yep.
We grow together as a unit. We learn more about each other, from each other. It allows you to actually to relate better and to have a better marriage or a better relationship, because now the woman is not feeling left out. She's not feeling like, I don't have a voice. She's not feeling like all I am is just a wife or just a mother. You know, it empowers women, and it reminds them that they have greatness. That although their husbands may be the rock star, you are the rock, though.
Yes.
And so I'm just enjoying it. And, you know, one of the things that served as a catalyst for me to create this Women Who Push, a while back I was being interviewed on a radio show. And, of course, I'm used to basically my whole life. Most conversations leads back to my husband, you know. Oh, what's Tracy doing? McGrady, whatever. But at the end of the, you know, he's always infused some kind of way, and that's okay. You know, that's great. That's the position I'm in, and, you know, nothing's wrong with that. But I'll never forget, it was a 30-minute radio interview, and the guy was talking to me about some of the things I was doing, we were sharing, and all of that, and, you know, so he said, okay, Clorinda, well, you know what, we're wrapping up, and I just want to thank you, the listeners want to thank you, and I'm like, waiting for him, anticipating for him to ask me about my husband, or to ask me about the lifestyle, or to ask me something about basketball or Tracy. And my mouth was just sort of flung open when we closed the interview, and he didn't say one word about Tracy McGrady. And I actually was, and I even said, hey, so is this it? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, you don't want to know anything more? And he's like, no, what? I'm like, oh, okay. And the level of empowerment that I felt, the level of, wow, someone acknowledged me for me. I had a voice that was truly my voice, independent of my husband and his identity. It was the best feeling ever. And so I said, you know what? We as women, wives, significant others of high-profile athletes or high-profile husbands, we need to feel that. We need to feel that same level of respect, same level of dignity, the same level of
validation.
I hear you.
Yeah, validation.
Right.
Validation.
Yeah, that one conversation provided for me. And again, that was sort of the catalyst to say, okay, you know what? I do have a voice. I have a purpose that's beyond my husband. It's beyond being a mother. It's beyond being a wife. Of course, that's you know, my biggest blessing and my biggest ministry, of course, is supporting to my family. But we're more. We have more to offer. So why hide that? Right.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. 100%, which is why, you know, like I said, I wanted to share your story, why it would be such an inspiration to our readers and our listeners and our followers. What you're saying is going to empower so many women and hopefully help them to take the leap of faith, you know, into God's arms and you know, take the next step to shine and offer what the gifts that God has given each woman, you know.
I usually...
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you know, sometimes in the beginning of that lifestyle, maybe when you're dating or you're newly married or whatever, you know, it can be flattering, just to be honest. It can be flattering to be known or recognized as, that's so-and-so's wife, that's so-and-so's wife. But you know what, Gisette? After a while, when the dust settles, For the woman who wants to answer the clarion call that there is more,
Yes.
who wants to respond to the inner nudges and the inner dialogue of, okay, this is nice, but there's more. There's more.
Yep, there's more of me. There's more.
Right.
I have more to offer.
Right. You know, that gets played out after a while, and you want to represent you. You want to represent the gifts and the talents and the callings and the dream and the vision that God has placed in you.
Yes.
And unfortunately, sometimes we let those things go sit on the sideline or put on the shelf. And I just want to encourage women to use everything that God has given us and put it on display.
And not let that spark die, or, don't let that spark burn out. We got to push forward and make some things happen, and just show the world that God has given us a purpose, as well, and there's a need for it, or else we wouldn't have it. We wouldn't be here. So, we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose.
Success is great, and we all experience success on a different level, and success is very subjective to us all. We have all experienced success to a different level, and success is great, but I'm ready for significance. Women are ready for more than the outer appearance of success. Success without significance is nothing.
What do you feel that is needed in order to be significant in the world? Like, for me, I think that, God comes first, of course, but I feel like gratitude is the key. So what do you feel is needed? Every woman should understand, what's needed in order to be significant in the world.
Well, I just believe that, when we use our gifts, our talents, when we use our time, our talent, and our resources that God has given us, that is what success is about. That is what gives us our significance. That is what gives us our meaning and our purpose to life. Purpose is not who we are, it's who we're becoming. Purpose is how we're changing, how we're impacting. What transformation are we bringing?
Growth.
What solution to what problem do we bring?
Absolutely.
That's what purpose and that's what significance is all about.
It's about growth. I don't think there's ever an ending to it. I think it's a lifelong process of growth and transitioning and growing and evolving and reinventing. I think that some women, well, not women, just people in general may think, I've done all that I can, or I can't go any further, or even people think they've made it. But for me, I think it's a never-ending process. As long as we draw breath and we're here, alive, that it's just an evolving, process.
Yeah, it's perpetual. We never on this side of heaven get to our pinnacle point.
Absolutely.
There's always more. There's always more to do.
Now, do you have a mentor, Clorinda? Do you have someone that you look to for mentorship advice, whether just in any way, whether we're talking about from a business perspective or personal? Do you have a mentor in your life?
I have a few mentors. I think that, iron sharpens iron. I think that as women, you have to surround yourself with mentors. Not just one, but you can have several mentors in different areas. Who I have maybe for my business mentor may not be who I go for my marriage or for my children. So I think that we have to surround ourselves with various mentors. I think we have to continuously always invest in ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to surround ourselves with people who are smarter, more savvy, just have a little bit going on, a little bit more than we do in order to better and grow. Yes.
Wherever you desire to go in life, whether that's with your business, your ministry, your marriage, your children, you have to always identify someone else
that's doing
who you're
better.
Like, wow,
absolutely.
That's what I want to get to.
Absolutely.
And those are the people you have to surround yourself with in order for you to grow.
What about your support system? You have a support system in pro sports. You have a lot of women that are in pro sports that you hang out with. That's your support system. I know you have beautiful sisters. Tell us about your support system.
Yeah, I do. They're not necessarily all in sports, but by all means, I have quite a few that I have, as I say, grown up in this sports world with. So yeah, I think it's very important to surround not just with surround yourself with mentors, but surround yourself with women who get you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, who understand without any judgment, without any, you know, any ulterior motives or
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's going to look at you weird or make you feel awkward, that you have to surround yourself with people who get you.
Yes.
And oftentimes, you know, in this lifestyle, it has to be connecting with women who are in that same lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Because some of the things I may share with, you know, Angela James or Janine Howard, you know, I mean, I can share those things with someone who's not inside of this particular lifestyle.
And
Not to say that I don't love those friends, you know, that I don't love them the same or I don't value them in the same. But some things that if you don't understand, you can't necessarily really truly give a true unbiased input, you know. So I think it's very important that you find ladies that you resonate with.
It is very important. I come from a small town, and I felt I was lonely a lot because I felt like I didn't have too many people that understood me, you know, understood my position in this lifestyle, and it was difficult. It was very difficult for me. I've always been kind of like a reserved person and stayed to myself. I was that kind of a child, you know, so I don't know, it was just hard for me. So I understand you absolutely do need to have women around you who can relate, because the advice that you may get from someone that's not in the sports world, it may not be appropriate. You know, it may not be what you need to hear. And it should come from someone that's seasoned and older and has your best interest at heart, you know. And, you know, it was difficult for me, like I said, coming from a small town, just trying to deal with the challenges of being with someone in pro sports. So having a support system of women who understand you in every area of your life is important, whether you're in pro sports or not. You just always should have someone that can relate, you know, a go-to people who can relate to whatever you're dealing with.
And that was the part of, you know, the shift for me creating my company, Women Who Push, is because I wanted women to feel safe. I wanted them to know that they have a safe, non-judgmental place where they can be transparent and they can be vulnerable without worrying about, do I get them? Do I understand? Am I judging them? Am I making weird faces on the other side of the phone? You know, so that's very important. Very important to know that, you know, you can take off the mask and then the mask up under that to truly be yourself.
Yes, genuine support and love and loyalty is very important to me. Just you know, selecting friends, whether, you know, it determines who I feel like I can confide in. So it's very, very important. So what are 5 tips that you would share with any woman? If you had 5 things that you would share, what would they be? Based off of your aspirations with Push, based off of the experiences that you've had, you know, over the years, and just anything. What would you give? What 5 tips would you give to women who are going to be listening to this conversation?
Okay. I think the first thing, just because of some negative self-beliefs that I felt about myself earlier on in life, my first tip would be to never succumb to fear, insecurity, and doubt, allowing it to dictate your life. You know, acknowledge that it's there, but don't let it dictate you, control you, or stop you. So that would be my first tip, is to, the second tip, I believe, is to never abandon the vision, the calling, the dream, the goal that God has placed in you to do. Okay? And it's never too late to do the thing that He's placed in your heart to do. I think as we get older, seasons change, life changes, we scale back on that dream, or we throw in the quitter's towel. We go, oh man, if I didn't do it by this age or this stage, forget it wasn't meant. And I just say, no, I challenge that belief. You know, if God put something in your heart to do, who are we to say, I can't do it, or I'm not going to do it? Because His timing is not our timing. And oftentimes we say, okay, well, you know, I can't do it now because I'm not in my prime, or I missed this opportunity, or it's just too late. No, it's never too late.
Never too late.
So, never too late, you know. And so there was a quote that I read a while back, and it resonated with me so well. It said that 1/3 of all female leaders will abandon the vision. And that spoke so loud to me because I saw myself in that, because I was abandoning the things that God had placed into me because of all these crazy things I was telling myself. And so after reading that, it resonated with me so well. I've hung on to that. And I just encourage women to never abandon the dream. You may have to tweak it, you may have to change it, you may have to slow down, but never abandon it.
And if you put it down, pick it back up. Pick it back up and start again.
Absolutely. Pick it back up. I think the third thing would be that every unfavorable situation or circumstance or failed attempt and struggle and challenge, it's happened for you and not to you. And that nothing will ever go wasted. Nothing will ever go unclaimed. It will all be used to shape you, to mold you, to transform you in the way that God has meant for it to be.
Yes, and the Bible says, "Be thankful in all circumstances." And I really believe that what you just said summed that up. That's why you have to be grateful, show gratitude, and like you said, everything that happens doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. So yes,
for you. And so I just think that, those breakdowns that we experience, those breakdowns are often the catalyst for our breakthroughs.
Yes.
And I just think, again, it just depends on how we see it and how we see life. And I just think that, everything that we thought we've lost or that was wasted, it will be given back to us, but even in abundance.
Yes. But we can't quit, though. That's if we keep going. We can't quit and abandon the dream. You got to keep going. Yes.
Absolutely. I don't know what number I'm on. Whatever number it is. I think the next tip would be, people will often hear me say this too. When we shift the way we think, we change the way we live. And that just comes back to a mindset thing. I love the verse that says that so a man thinketh, so he is.
Yes.
And it's so true because, this tip basically is just that our thoughts and our words shape and create our outcome. So many times we get caught up on our own negative inner dialogue. Oh, I can't do this. I'm never that. I'm da-da-da-da-da-da. And every time we say that, it gets positive into our spirit. And every time we say those things, our mind believes it.
Yep.
I even tell my kids, I'm like, your mind is like a robot. It's going to do everything you tell it. It's going to believe everything you tell it. The good, the bad, anything.
Yep.
And so my to piggyback off that is just, even if you don't believe it, even if you don't see it, continue to speak life into your relationships, into your dreams, your business, whatever.
Yes.
Even if what you have is total opposite, stuff is jacked up, tore up from the floor up, claim what it is that you want. But I'm not saying, I know a while back we were in that whole claim it, name it, claim it mantra. It's not that. It's really going back to God's word. But what is His word about the situation? And whatever that word says, that's what you have to say.
And that's what you have to stand on.
My situation may look like this, but no, Lord, you said that I'm prosperous. No, Lord, you said that I have a hope, a future, and a life ahead of me.
Right.
You said that I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes, and you said that I have the victory in you. So
we have to continue that. And, we have to continue saying those things until those things manifest itself. And so the things that we're speaking catches up with the things that's coming out of our mouth.
Absolutely. You have just given so many women hope and even more inspiration. I feel when they hear this, they're going to be inspired to press on and take that next step and move forward. And I would even believe that they would replay this over and over again because those tips you just gave were amazing. They were awesome. And you just spoke life into somebody's life. That's what you just done. You just given them a hope for the future, as God says. And I think that it's amazing. I think it's amazing. You have an awesome spirit about you, and everybody who knows you loves you. I don't know anybody that doesn't. I have never heard anyone say anything, contradictory. Everyone loves Clorinda. So,
wow!
Yes, really. So
I'm humbled by that.
Yes,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, look, you need to stop asking people then. Stop where you're at, so that way we can keep it all positive. I don't know. It's this girl. No, I'm kidding. Let's keep it a win
well, girl, they're not gonna be able to come to me and say anything otherwise. So it's fine. It's fine.
Oh.
So confess something for me. Share something with us that no one would know. Not too many people would know about you. What can you tell us?
Ooh, let me get down to the nitty gritty. Tell y'all some good, sweet, juicy stuff. Stuff from back in the day. No,
No, girl. Let's keep that. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Let's keep
yeah, what happened on this call stays on this call.
Right.
No, you know, I don't know. One of the things that just sort of comes to mind is I'm a very quiet and introverted person, and I enjoy my solitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm creating a platform and a brand for myself, speaking and pouring into people's lives. But again, that's how I know it is of God, because sometimes I have to fight and struggle with getting on stage speaking, because I am my own flesh. I don't want to do it.
Yes.
Because I'm like, no, I want to be in the back of the room just chilling. I don't want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say anything. And so that's who I am. I'm very quiet and shy. And this whole speaking platform has just sort of developed over the past few years because it was a struggle with me, because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I don't like talking. I'm like, I'm good. Let me get to the back of the room. Listen to whoever, get my notes. Let me slip out. I'm just, and actually early on, it used to cause problems because people would think, who she thinks she is. People would thought that I thought I was all of that or whatever. Like I was antisocial. Not that I was antisocial.
Right.
I just didn't know how to be social. I didn't know how to engage. And I was great if someone extended the invitation and say, hey, you want to come here, or yada, yada, yada. I'm like, yeah, cool. But I couldn't engage it because I couldn't initiate because I didn't know how to engage because, just from being that quiet, shy, introvert nature.
Well,
and so that's who I am at my core. And
I'm glad that you took your own advice and you didn't succumb to fear. And because you, like I said, you're a beautiful person inside and out, and what you have to offer is going to bless so many women. So it's great that you stepped out on faith, and you continue to step out on faith even when you do get cold feet, and you press on, and because it's needed. There's someone out there whose life is going to be changed from the story that Clorinda shares. I mean, so it's absolutely it's absolutely needed. And hats off to you for pushing forward and not giving in to fear. Hats off to you. And I'm also an introverted person, so I understand as far as speaking in public, and I just had to force myself to go beyond that and and step out. My younger sister is extroverted, so she is the one that didn't have any problems with going up on stage, is dancing and singing and all kinds of stuff. And I did it as a kid, but I was a little bit more shy about it, so I had to take some points from her and step out there and do what I had to do, to fulfill my purpose, what I believe God has called me to do.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, because that just confirms something in me. You had asked me a question a while back. What is it that I would hope people would get from hearing my story? And it's just that our life should be used to influence and to make an impact.
Yes.
And that goes beyond your comfort zone, what you want to do. And that's been my life. I've had to get beyond my comfort zone of what I want to do, because if it was up to me what I wanted to do, oh, baby, I'd be who I don't know. But it's been about using my life, my platform, my whatever I have to really impact and to make a difference, particularly for God's glory and His kingdom. But really just to make a difference however we can. And so I appreciate just what you're doing and how you are allowing people to use what they have, because we all have something that can impact the next person. We all have a platform. That platform may be one person. That platform may be 5 people or 10 people. Or you may have a platform that reaches the multitude. But it's about using what we have, where we're at, to reach out and to make a difference. And so I appreciate what you're doing, using your platform to give women a voice and to allow their stories to be heard, because it's the stories that truly bring transformation, that people resonate with. It's the stories that people tell, that people cling to, and that people use for their own hope.
Thank you so much, sis. You're going to make me cry, but thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And you are a fabulous person. We know that you're grateful for the life that God has blessed you with. But if there's anyone else in the world that you would be, who would that person be? Anyone else?
Oh, who would I be? You know what? You know who I would be?
Who?
I would have the golden touch that Oprah Winfrey.
Right.
I would be Oprah. I'd be Hoppo.
Right? Well, that's not a bad person to be. That's not a bad
It's
person.
not. And I say that because I just look at her and I'm like, wow, we've been talking about using your platform,
Yes.
and what God has given you to go out and make a difference. And I'm just like, wow, the platform that she has. She can say, snap your fingers, and people snap their fingers.
Yes.
I just think that it's great, the platform that she has. And I know there's some people have controversy over, just how well she's using her platform, but whatever. But I think that if I had that platform, just imagine the lives that I could touch and impact and change, and really be able to share my faith and my beliefs of God, and knowing that when I speak that, the people are going to resonate with it.
Yes. Yes.
Just because of the platform. And so I think it's awesome, the platform that she has, and I continue to pray for her that she will continue to use it to lead people in the way that they should go. And so I think that is the person I would be.
Awesome. Well, that's a great
I'd
person.
be giving out cards.
Right?
I'd be giving out all kinds of stuff.
And I would be right there in your audience.
I would be like, come on up here, girl.
Right?
You got your card. Which one you want?
Exactly. So we're so excited to have you participating at the Synergy Conference that we have coming up in October in Washington, D.C. You mentioned Angela James, who will also be there as one of our experts. We have you. You're going to be speaking, holding a seat on the panel, and moderating a breakout session. So we're excited to have you. Everyone listening will be able to come and register and hear more of what you have to share with your projects, with Push, and everything else that you're working on. So I think that's awesome. We had Janine involved, but Janine has a fundraiser that's going to be taking place that same weekend. So she's giving us her support, and very disappointed that she won't be able to attend. But however, she was excited about the invitation and still supporting. So I think it's phenomenal. We're going to have so many great women, sharing their expertise to the people in the audience. We're going to have an amazing time.
Yeah, listen, I'm so geeked about your conference. I think it's awesome what you're doing. You're bringing some amazing ladies together to show off their amazing qualities and talents. And I just think that, listen, these women will never be the same when they leave, and the people that are going to be there partaking in this conference, they're never going to be the same, because it's just going to be dynamic what happens in that place. It's just going to be awesome. And so, again, thank you for the platform, for allowing women to come forth and share. So many people have probably never had this type of platform. And I just think it's amazing what you're creating. And so I just know that God's going to continue to bless you triple-fold and continue to open those doors and put you on platforms where you can continue to make an impact and influence other people.
And I received that because I feel like God inspired me to pull this event together. It came from God. Nothing but from God, because I prayed about it and asked him, what's my next step? Where would you have me to go from here? What do I need to do? And then this is what, came from that. So I fully believe that this is, God has his hands all over this, and because it came from him. So I appreciate that. So I'd like to end the conversation with God. I like to begin it with him and end it with him. So what would it be one word for God, if you had to think of one word to tell us what you feel or what you think or who God is, whatever it is? Just tell us one word for God that comes from Clarinda McGrady.
Wow. Well, awesome question. I think that one word that would represent God for me in this season of my life is grace.
Yes.
It's just grace. Giving that free gift that I don't deserve, that I have not earned, that I will never earn. Just providing love and blessings and protection, providing everything without me having to earn it or work for it.
Yes.
And it's just that grace.
Amazing grace.
Mm-hmm.
Where would we be
It
without it? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, sis. Thank you. This has been a great conversation. We'll be speaking regularly, so it's not the end for us, but it's been a great conversation. And as I said earlier, you are going to inspire so many women who are going to be listening to this conversation. And thank you so much. The conversation has inspired me as well, and it's been an honor.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm humbled and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And so God bless you, and thank you again.
Same to you, sis. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.